Welcome to the video review of TF Toys Hercules Exgraver. This is the first in the Hercules series of toys, one of probably 6, maybe 7. The box is modeled in green and yellow caution tape, and it's got a very kind of a dirty feel, kind of a construction zone feel to it. There's nothing really interesting about the box, but I do appreciate the extra effort that they took to make the box look and feel kind of like a dangerous construction site. So let's go ahead and open it up. One thing I did want to show about the box is this is the inside sleeve, and the figure in its bubble sits right here, but you've got this really cool effect of just this really menacing Decepticon right there. I really dig that. The figure does come with a little Exgraver card with his stats, very nice. And the instructions themselves are modeled in black, white, and green. So this will give you guys an idea of the transformation process, which is very simple. And then you've got the transformation process into the limb. Out of the box, Exgraver has 4 accessories. 2 guns, one purple, one clear pinkish lightish red, a giant fist, and the excavator shovel. As you can see here, the excavator shovel can be wielded on the left arm. It can also be plugged in right here to the back of the figure, which will be part of the transformation. Overall, this figure is very meaty, and by meaty I mean it's nice and blocky. It has a very G1 feel to it. The only issue I really have in this mode is the legs the hips are on ball joints, and they are a little loose. Nothing that's crazy, but it is a little loose. And here's the figure compared to Dark of the Moon Voyager class Shockwave. As you can see, they're about the same size. For a nearly $100 figure, this plastic does feel a little cheap. I'm not going to lie, it feels light. The build quality, however, is superb. The figure is assembled well, and there are no gaps or seams that are out of the ordinary. Though it does feel, like I said, the plastic does feel a little bit on the cheap side. Posability-wise, this figure is very posable. The head is on a ball joint, so you have lots of movement there. The shoulders are on a swivel joint to aid the transformation, and then you have a sliding joint here for forwards and backwards movement, though it does lock into play, or it does kind of lock right there, but you can push past it. The arm has a swivel at the shoulder, and then the elbows bend at 90 degrees, and the wrists do move. Legs, there is a ball joint in the hip. There is a swivel joint at the thigh, and there is a 90-degree bend joint there at the knee, though it is a backwards knee. And his feet and heels can move, but they move with one another. So you can get a lot of very good poses. When you attach the shovel, however, you run a real big problem of being top-heavy. This figure is extremely top-heavy with the shovel, and honestly, it looks really cool, but you're very limited in what poses you can have the figure perform. You can dual-wield the guns. They do fit in both hands, and then they can be stored on the back. The fist can be stored on the back, plug it in here, or just have it plugged in like that, something like that. It looks silly, but you can plug it in. Also, you can remove this little green tower here, and if you can get it lined up well, you could just plug it in like that. The transformation begins with by pulling off that cap section from the back, then taking the figure, turning around, and taking that gray part and putting it up directly behind the head. Then we'll take the fist and fold the thumb into just to the bottom of the palm. Once you fold the thumb up, you can attach the entire arm onto the back part, and then put that over the head of the robot. Now this is the most difficult part because you have to line up pegs that are on that back piece
into the shoulders, and getting this lined up is not easy. You have to do it a few times to get used to it. Once you get the back part set up, the rest of the transformation is a cakewalk. Rotate the arms, and then rotate the fists, and do the same thing on the other side, and it's about a 180-degree rotation for both the arms and the fists. Then you'll fold the arms down into the body and attach them via a very nice snug tab. And we'll do that on both sides. You do have to push the arm up a little bit in order to get it attached. Flip down the chest plate, and then fold up the feet. And the feet will fold up, as you can see, automatically. When you just push one, the other one will fold as well. Next, fold out these tabs that are located on the forearms, and then take the crotch area and actually fold that up onto the underbody of the vehicle after you rotate it around 180 degrees. And when you do that, you're actually going to connect what is the knee joint into those tabs. And that just keeps it from flopping around. It's really held together nicely, and everything fits together really, really well. And we're almost done. Finally, attach the cab and the excavating shovel. And that plugs in very securely.
As you saw, the transformation into the excavator mode is very simple and is actually quite satisfying, given how simple that the transformation actually is. Now, Scrapper was not my favorite Constructicon, but this is a nice update to the figure, or to the actual transformer. Both guns can be held in this mode, and they fit in quite nicely. And the cab here can actually be placed on either hand. I do find it a little unsettling that you do have the robot hands visible in vehicle mode, but it's really not that big of a deal. The hydraulics do work, however they are very, very tight, especially in this this first arm section. This section out here is very loose and not loose, but very smooth and easy to work with. Overall, I'd say that the vehicle mode is a nice mode, but it's very blocky. It's pretty much the robot mode transforming into a brick with a construction attachment. It's nothing great, but it's nothing bad either. I'm actually happy that they released this figure first, because I think this is going to be the weakest figure of the line.
Now, as you all know, there is another transformation for this figure. We're going to start off by just removing the guns and remove the excavator shovel. Getting the stuff out of the peg holes is a little bit harder, but it's not that bad. Start by unpegging the treads and folding them down. Oh, and closing those tabs off as well. Changing into arm mode is very easy from this point. Put the legs together, put the treads together, fold them up, put the fist in, fold the connector bit down, attach the excavator shovel, and you're done.
As you saw, the transformation to fist mode or arm mode is actually very, very easy. And it's quite satisfying, believe it or not. And this arm is big. Here is Roadbuster, Deluxe Class version Dark of the Moon Roadbuster, compared to the arm. Also, here is Dark of the Moon Voyager Class Shockwave, compared to the arm.
As the first in a line of third-party figures, Exgraver has succeeded on many levels, but there is some to be desired. The figure itself, for the $100 price tag, is lacking in a little bit of ways. It's not bad, but it's not perfect either. The transformations are fun and interesting, and just having a figure that turns into a giant arm is really giving me a lot of goosebumps and really making me excited for the rest of the figures. Next month, September, should see the release of the second figure, the not long haul figure. I believe it's called Heavy Loader. And I'm really looking forward to that because long haul was my favorite figure. Now, there's nothing really wrong with this figure except for the loose hip joints. But for $100, it really doesn't feel like you're getting a lot. Now, I'm sure once all is said and done and I have a giant Hercules in my office, I'm going to be speaking a different tune. But this figure, given the price tag, just lacks a little bit. I'm not saying it's a bad figure. Again, this is actually a very nice figure, but I feel that there should be more to him. The build quality is impeccable, however, and the plastic, even though I did say it feels cheap, doesn't feel that bad. The light piping on the figure is also something that is really, really nice. I don't show it off very well here, but it makes the figure really pop, especially if you get him in the right light. Overall, I would say this is a worthy purchase. I just think the $100 price tag is a little bit high.